Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Blight completed a medical at the Pies last week. Why was he delisted from Richmond, and why are the Pies interested in him? It's time to talk all things black and white. Let's set the scene before we roll the highlights from Jacob Blight's season. He's 24 going 25. He's 196 centimeters. He has an endurance tank on him. Came through the mid-season draft, played in a waffle, plays above the level there, and he also plays above the level seemingly at VFL level. I'll play this as we go, okay? He plays above the level. You can see here, has that intercept ability. His highlights are genuine highlights. I did not have to go through many. I think I went through 2 games. You'd like him to find this one, by the way, if you want to be critical straight away off the bat. But he does look for them sometimes. He genuinely plays above the level, but we must bear in mind these are highlights, and the lowlights are going to be buried far, far away somewhere where we can't see them, right? But I genuinely just watched 2 games of highlights from Jacob Blight's season, and a lot of forward thinking from Blighty and a lot of confidence in the way he goes about his game. He ended up playing, if we just have a look here for a moment, in the AF, he played 7 games and finds the footy, wants to use the footy, intercepts the ball, and has that endurance tank, but is susceptible to a blunder, is susceptible to not being quite up to the level of speed that is required athletically, although he has the endurance tank. Think like an Ed Allen who may have an absolute endurance tank, but just can't find ways to break out of stoppages. So think of that type of player. What have we got here? This is no slouch, the Adelaide Crows. So you've got Blighty, who was playing on Tex Walker for a large portion of the game, gets good registration on that spoil as well, which you love to see. And that's, like I said before, he does look for this corridor kick, which is money, and it's bang on, and it opens up the game for the Tigers off the halfback. They'll rebound there now. Interestingly, I was told by, I won't use their name just because they may not want me to use it in the video, but I was told Blight was 1 game short of triggering a contract extension, which is interesting. Obviously, they definitely didn't want him for another year for whatever reason. Even in the back end of the season, I think he played 1 or 2 games towards the back end of the season, so they were really careful about not hitting that trigger clause, much like they did with Mitch McGovern at Carlton. I'm certain they did the same thing in the last couple of games. They had every chance to play him, and they chose not to, so that it didn't hit the trigger. With Blighty, I think the writing was on the wall for quite some time, it seems. But there was a lot of shock in the Richmond fan base when they heard Blighty being delisted. They were disappointed that he wasn't playing over Ben Miller. Some of them were fans, some were not, some were understanding. Some were saying he's, like I said, just too clumsy and susceptible to blunders. An interesting one was they felt that once he was played out of position, so he went from playing as a key defender to ruck forward. Does that sound familiar? And then he made way out of the team. Does that not sound familiar? When Billy Frampton was thriving as a key defender and he moved into the ruck, he moved into the forward line over the last couple of years. Every single time that happened, what ensued after that was an omission to the VFL. So I just find that interesting that it happens at other clubs. He's only played 10 games of AFL. So I think compared to a Charlie Dean, we've seen Charlie Dean play 10 games, but you can tell straight away he's just not up to it. 70% of the time Charlie Dean touches the ball, he does something wrong or loses his feet. It's clear. I think if we keep watching this in a moment, Blighty shows signs that must intrigue other clubs to get someone who's an absolute bargain. So, I mean, it's difficult for Blighty because of how deep the key position stocks are at Richmond. You think in the forward line, you got Thomas Sims, Armstrong, Jonty Fall. In the back line, you got Ben Miller, Tyler Young, Noah Bolter, Josh Gipkus. It's quite deep. So you can understand if it was their healthiest portion of the third of the field, then you can almost understand why it was difficult for him to break into the side and play consistently. I remember the game against Carlton, that's sort of when he raised my eyebrows, and now we're at this point where we're looking at getting him. We'll keep this rolling for a moment. So he just has a willingness to move the ball straight away. There's a little hole here. He gets the timing perfectly. This is a tick lead here. Does he find this player here? We'll find out. But this guy's just pretty much pushed off his defender. He'll get the space, and that should happen. It's essentially a perfect kick to Noah Bolter. So that's what I like. I think you have to be quite a hybrid player as a key defender these days, meaning you have to be able to intercept, you have to be able to play one-on-one, and you have to be able to use the ball, because back half game is so important. At this point, you've got Blighty here, and he's going to make... what happened here? What do we do here, guys? We go erase. Mayday, mayday. All right, we're going to close this. There we go. All right. So you're going to see Blighty just reads this a bit earlier than his opposition. You can see really what's happened here is his forward's taken eye off the ball, thinking he's got time to reposition. Blighty's kept sight on the ball. And then maybe you can say you can mark this, but at the very least, he gets good registration and clears the boundary. And I'm a big fan for people who can get great registration on a spoil. Coming from a goalkeeping background, how important it is to clear the immediate vicinity, the immediate danger. I think that's really important. If you want to see somebody who does that really well for Collingwood already, that is Jeremy Howe. All right. So this is his deep. I think he's on Keeler here. Genuine one-on-one. Bodies him. Does really well. And doesn't waste time. Finds his corridor kick. And he's going to offer an overlapping run to get the ball out of this 50. He gets denied. Makes a second run. He gets denied again. But the option was there. Which is all you can ask for here. Blighty, what I like here is his goal side of his forward, Keeler. And he's working hard to get to this contest. Takes the ball, picks it up again, and just gets it out and is able to recycle. So good composure. This might be the last one we got here. Blighty comes off Keeler and is able to get the intercept. And he plays quickly. So that's really... I don't want to overanalyze his highlights. I think we've got enough information around it. People might scratch their heads and saying, why are we going for someone who's been delisted from Richmond? Again, the key stocks in their youth is crazy right now. So, sometimes you get played out of form. We've talked about McStay being played out of form, playing different positions. Same with Billy Frampton. Let's over to old mate Reddit, and if you go to... Does anyone know why we haven't been playing Jacob Blight? So you see, Blight has been fortunately squeezed out due to depth. Does everything right, gets dropped. Doesn't use the ball well enough, but then they say, was Miller a very good kick? And from what I've seen, once again, take with a grain of salt, his highlights are his highlights and they're not his lowlights. Not one of Uze's mates. Not sure who comes in for him at the moment. Bolter and Miller over Blight. So, I mean, you at this point of these guys' careers, you probably are taking Bolter and Miller. This guy's only played 10 games, so you're always fighting an uphill battle there. He was killing in the first couple of games. Looked like he finally found his spot in defense. What really screwed him was playing him out of position in the forward area. Still to this day, don't understand why we moved him out of the back line. Not sure he has the speed required to go with modern forwards. Disposal is not up to standard. He was pretty stiff getting dropped initially. Can't play too many key defenders, and Bolter and Miller are better than he is. Blight does some good things, but he also does some poor things. So hopefully that gives you a clearer picture of where Jacob Blight stands. It sounds like there's a lot of potential. He is prone to stupid mistakes at times. He is entering somewhat the prime of his career, and he's younger than the age profile we have right now. So is it worth a shot as a delisted free agent where you get him for literally peanuts, you get him for nothing, you immerse him into the club, get him around great people, great players, and just see if it's worth it. I don't know if you get a Stephen May and a Jacob Blight. I would say there is space, and maybe you should consider that, considering how old Jeremy Howe, Dyson Moore's getting older. Even Bruzzy, if you want to throw him in there. Billy Frampton's 29, would you believe it? And then Stephen May. You'd like to throw in Jacob Blight for some security there, just for some peace of mind. If shit hits the fan on the injury front next year, then you bleed someone in like a Jacob Blight who would relish another opportunity at AFL level. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, go Pies.